Yo, what is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 82 of our Tracksuit to the Top series here with Lewis FC in the Premier League. Hopefully you guys are good. Today I have for you our first game of the Champions League knockout stage, or not knockout, sorry, group stages. I always seem to butcher something in these intros. It's the group stages. We're taking on Inter Milan, and it's the first game of our Group A matchup. So we've got that to look forward to, but before that, just a few games to quickly review in brief. Of course, last episode we knocked out Napoli over 2 legs in the kind of qualifying for the Champions League group stage. Since then, 2 very good wins. First one came against QPR, 5-1 the score. A variety of goal scorers here. Alexander Haas grabbing his first Premier League goal. Very pleasing for the German there. Of course, joined us on a free. A few question marks over perhaps how well he'd performed for us because he had a really bad season for Seville. But he came in as the highest paid player in the club, and so far he's got a goal in his 3 league appearances, one of which was on off the bench, so looking pretty good for him. Other players did really well here. Pedrera did well. The Argentine, of course, adapting to his new left midfielder position. We've changed our formation a little bit. If you missed last episode, I talk a lot more about it there, and I recommend you catch up just for the formation change. But playing the new left mid role, he's done a good job there for us. Sonogo also with a very good start to the season. Eric Sonogo, of course, broke his leg years ago. I feel like Sonogo's a bit like Dave Whelan. I feel like I mention his broken leg every time. But a very good player for us. This year, having a stormer of a start. 5 assists and 2 goals in his first 3 games. Really, really impressive. Considering as well, he only got 11 assists last year. So he's already halfway to last year's total. Jean-Carlos Martinez grabbing another goal as well, the Colombian. Good for him. Joined us for £10 million this year. And right now, he's looking like a great piece of business. And also Matthew Lewis grabbing a goal from the penalty spot in the dying stages of the game. So we got 5 goals there. And then for the 4th time this season, we got 5 goals again. This time conceding a few more as we beat Bournemouth 5-3 away from home. It was actually 5-1 at half-time. Matthew Lewis with a half-time... What's 4 goals? I don't know. Double brace. We'll call it a double brace. Why not? He got 4 goals. Not every day you see that. And also Sonogo grabbing a goal in this game too. Again, a very dominant performance, this one particularly. A lot of shots, had more of the ball, and well, when Matthew Lewis scores 4 in one half, it's been a good day at the office. So far for him, 7 goals in 3 games this season. He is in scintillating form in the Premier League, and who knows, maybe, just maybe, he can surpass his own total of 38 goals for the season. I mean, if he keeps up the form he's in now, there's no reason why that can't happen. Anyway, just a little bit of a wider look at the squad. Still early days in the season, really. But Kelechi Iheanacho with 3 goals this year. Also 4 assists for him, which is pleasing. I already talked a bit about Jean-Carlos Martinez, but Thomas Vermeer's done well too. The centre-back joined us on loan from Barcelona. He's had a nice little start to time at the club. In terms of the best average ratings, Juan Carlos Leon is also right up there. Of course, playing that new box-to-box midfielder this role. Not had too many assists this year in this new role, but he's playing very well. A 7.57 average rating for him. Anyway, shall we get into today's game? It's against Inter Milan. It's a bit of a big one. I'm hoping we can get a decent result here. Our Champions League group, just to kind of remind it, is Inter Milan, CSKA Moscow and Twente. Last season we met CSKA Moscow, and if we look here, we actually beat them in the Europa League knockout stage 6-2 on aggregate. So that was quite convincing, really, and I'm hoping that we can do something similar this time around. It's worth noting they are the 2nd seeds in this group. The board's expectation for this tournament is that we reach the knockout round, so that's not going to be easy because we have the lowest seed in our group. However, the draw's been quite kind to us, really. During the draw I said this was the kind of teams I'd like to get in the group, I'd like to get put into, and the FM gods listened to me and have placed us here, and I'm hoping that we can get off with a good start here. Inter Milan going to be our opposition today. You can see they've got some good players. They've got I guess you'd call this guy Ignio Martinez, a good player. I've actually had him on a few of my own FM saves. He's lost a bit of his pace and his aerial ability here, but still a very good defensive player. We're going to have to be conscious of him. Juan Jesus as well, another centre-back. So the defensive position seems to be the area of strength at Inter. Granted, 2 fairly older players playing there, but Jose Mourinho managing the side. Never going to be easy against him. May well park the bus coming away from home to the Lewis Stadium, but we'll see how we get on here. Going to be playing our preferred formation. A few minor changes just to tell you guys about here. So Currently, I guess, actually, I want to change this. I've changed my mind. Last game, Martinez was a little bit tired, so I actually dropped him and played Haas at right mid. But with Haas back fully fit, we'll move him back into the striker role. Looking at the overall fitness, there are a few players struggling a little bit. That's kind of to be expected given the kind of intensity of our schedule. We have got fitness training on. As you can see here, there is a lot of games to be played here. So anyway, let's get into today's game. We'll submit that team. I'm hopeful that we can get 3 points here and get this kind of group stage campaign off to a really good start. They've got a few names here you'll recognise: Herrera, Carlos Fierro, Alinga, Cameroonian. Not seen him do too much this year in FM, but he used to be a bit of an FM god. He doesn't look too bad by any means. We've also got Gervaj. I hope I said that right. He's an FM name that you may recognise. Does very well in saves. So not going to be easy, but we'll see how we get on. Also worth noting that Mourinho has elected to play with 2 defensive midfielders, so I am going to accuse him of parking the bus here. But I'm hoping we can get off to a good start. Last year in the Europa League, we actually had a really rocky start to our group stage campaign, which hurt us. It kind of impacted, I guess, the mentality for the rest of the year. It put us under pressure from the off, really, having lost our first 2 games to go out there and kind of win our remaining games in the Europa League. And yes, we did respond to that challenge, but I want to avoid this situation because the Europa League and Champions League group stages are just 2 completely different beasts altogether. So we'll see how we get on here. We are on the attack. Juan Carlos Leon, what a shot that is. Rifles it into the top corner. And that's his 2nd goal of the season for the Mexican. Not done too much in the league for us, as I mentioned, but an ever-present member of our side. And he's just got another screamer there. Got one against Napoli, which was a really nice volley from outside the area. And this time, just Martinez threads it through to him. And he just rifles it in. Bang! Pick that out. Keeper doesn't even start moving a hand towards the ball till it's already hit the back of the net. It was that good. And that is a fantastic start here. Couldn't have asked for a better start than that. I was worried that Inter might just kind of, park the bus, put up the defensive lines and make it really hard for us to break them down and hit us on the break. So to get that early goal, we kind of apply some pressure, I guess, on them to try and chase the game, particularly if this game goes to the latter stages with a 1-goal deficit. And that could open them up for even more chances. As Matthew Lewis scores a worldie, oh my gosh, I thought it was going to be one of the pointless highlights, which you see where the players just dribble past a few players and nothing else happens. But Matthew Lewis picks up here, just nudges it round one man. There's kind of space opening up. They kind of let him get away a shot, and he just launches it, placing it really into that bottom right-hand corner to the keeper's right. What a finish that was. And that makes it 2-0. And now, well, Inter will really have to chase this game if they want to get anything for us from this. Jose Mourinho's tactic to park the bus not working for him just yet. And we win the ball here again. Could we make it 3-0 early on? One thing I'm really liking about the new system we're playing, the 3-5-2, is just how many men we have in midfield. Last year, a common kind of theme, I guess, was the fact that Matthew Lewis scores again. Take a bow. 3-0 has with an incredible run to begin that. And then the rebound gets parried out by Lazar. And Lewis is just the first to react. But what I was about to say, before we scored again, was last year one of our big weaknesses with our 3 in midfield and 1 centre attacking mid kind of formation was it always felt as if we were getting a little bit outnumbered. And I also felt as if our wing-backs were a tad bit redundant in terms of I had to keep playing them on defend, because if I ever played them on support, it just felt like they were always out of position. This year, of course, we've ditched the wing-backs altogether, pushed them higher up to kind of where they might play, but even actually further ahead than that, had they been played as wing-back support. And I've now dropped 3 centre-backs. And the 3 centre-backs is working really well for us, actually. It's not something I've tried much in FM15, but we've had some really good success here with it so far. Obviously, not the best defensive team, but that doesn't matter. We're on the attack again here. Haas rifles it in. It's 4-0 after 40 minutes. What a dream. What a dream game. Pedrera, the architect. And this is why we are scoring 5 goals a game or more. We just seem to be tearing teams apart. We have some fantastic athletes in the midfield. Players like Jean Carlos Martinez, Pedrera, Sonogo, Juan Carlos Leon, even Batagelli to some extent are just athletes, incredibly fast players. And we're just punishing teams here. It's now 5-0. Matthew Lewis with a first half hat-trick again. I don't really know what to say here. It's just been a demolition job. They're not a bad team, this Inter side. They're the #1 seeded team coming into this competition, and we've just been clinical against them. We've scored 5 before half-time. there's always a worry that when you score as many as we have been, that you're just going to go for a period where the goals don't happen. And I was a little bit worried, if I'm honest, after the first few games of the season, that we were going to get into the live comms and we just weren't going to be scoring, and it would kind of be a situation where I'm kind of like, yeah, well, we have been scoring loads, but we never do it in live comms. But that jinx is not going to happen here. 5-0 up, we are loving it. We've not even had that many clear-cut chances. We've just been very clinical with a lot of half chances that have come our way. And even then, we've not even had half chances, really. It's just been, really inspirational finishes and not clear goal-scoring opportunities. If it were to fall to a terrible player, they probably wouldn't take the chance. But we have enough quality in our team that they can seize upon even the slightest opportunities. And we're really punishing Inter Milan at the back here for their defensive mistakes. Anyway, they're on the attack here. Halilovic, Fred through Carlos Fierro, who places it wide. That was a real chance for Inter Milan. Their first clear-cut chance of the game. I'm actually going to make some changes here. Juan Carlos Leon's been struggling a little bit with fitness. So I'm going to drop Sonogo into centre mid and then play Soares in that attacking midfielder role. I'm also going to give Mitchell, the young German, a run out at defensive midfielder. Just because we're so far ahead here, I would like to give a few of the younger players a real run out in the first team. Give them a chance to play. And Roberto's another player who can come on here. Matthew Lewis getting a minor knock. But we have some younger players here who I want to give first team football to. It's vital in their development to be able to give Mitchell and Roberto essentially a free 30, 20 minutes each in this competition is really good, because that's only going to help their development, kind of giving them that exposure to big first team football on the big stage. Inter have got one back here, but they're not going to come back in this situation. They're just not. They'd need 4 goals in 20 minutes. It's not happening. A bit of poor defending, maybe. Sonogo being dropped back into that more defensive position that Juan Carlos Leon plays. He's not as good defensively, so perhaps that goes a little way to explaining the defensive error there, as it seemed like he was trying to appeal for offside and there was just nothing going whatsoever. But anyway, looking at the stats, 50-50 possession, but we've just been clinical, as I said before, and Kouakou with a great save there from that long effort by Inter. We've had 15 shots in the game. Inter have had half of that. Really, we have been the better side, but 5-1 probably flatters us just a little bit. But it's credit to our players and their finishing capabilities and just how good they've been. We have a set piece here. Sonogo whips it in. Kore, Halilovic picks up the ball, and now a counter potentially for Inter Milan. They are running forward with men surging ahead. Halilovic on an crazy run. Kouakou, though, denies him. Halilovic almost scoring a world-class goal, carrying it from the edge of his own 18-yard box and almost around the keeper. But I tell you what, Kouakou stood up strong there and made a fantastic save for us. And, well, with 10 minutes left, it's mission accomplished. What a start to our Champions League kind of campaign. I said I wanted to get off this group stage to a flyer, do as well as we could, not leave ourselves in the situation we left ourselves in last year, losing the first 2, because it's not nice to have that kind of pressure of knowing that you kind of need to win 3 of your last 4 games. And to be debatably the biggest team in the group in this kind of manner is just really, really pleasing and gives me a lot of confidence going forward. And gives me hope that we can at least achieve, I guess, our minimum expectation of reaching the first knockout round of this tournament. We've been great here, and goal difference as well is going to be extremely, extremely useful for us. And if we could get any more goals now, just feed the confidence even more. Roberto, the young Brazilian, he's gone quite wide here. Can't whip in the ball. Can Mitchell whip it in? The German Martinez. Boga will clear it, and now they might look to counter here. I'm still looking at the ways that we can improve the side during the non-live games. I am watching quite a lot of the games in full, or at least really long highlights to try and work out weaknesses and where we might need to adjust the formation slightly. But right now it's working really well. Looks like we're going to end up with our all too familiar goal scoring total for each game, as it seems at the moment, of 5 goals here. Unfortunately, we've lost that clean sheet. We've conceded a few in the second half, but regardless, a really emphatic performance that first half. Kind of put the game to bed, and the players took their foot off the pedal a little bit, and I'm pleased with how that's gone. 3 goals for Matthew Lewis in Europe is always pleasing, and hopefully we can see more of that. We're just going to check his knock. Hopefully it's nothing serious. It's not. Panic over. We got him off as soon as we could. And Matthew Lewis, on form for Lewis, a 9.6 average rating for him. Let's give him a little bit of praise. But yeah, I can't even praise him for his last game because I did it the game before. That's quite funny. But anyway, that's going to wrap things up for today, guys. I think the next live com is going to be against Manchester United. I'm conscious that I'm doing quite a lot of live coms at the moment in kind of short succession, but I think that Manchester United one's kind of important to do. As of course, they did they win the league last year, or was it Chelsea? It was Chelsea who won it last year, but Manchester United were right up there in the table. So that'll be a big game for us. And then we have obviously the Chelsea game, and maybe we'll do one more game in between, maybe the other Inter game, because that could be the one that decides if we go through the Champions League group stages. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this episode, guys. If you did, smash the like button. And other than that, it is me, Jack, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.